All right, everyone, let's go. Let's do this one more time. We're going to celebrate two plant-based brothers coming back with
Inside
episode
joke.
number. Wait, is this eight?
Think so.
Yeah, eight. Yeah, okay. Yeah. We I need episode seven, by the way. No one needs to know that, but yeah, I still need episode seven from you. Okay, let's get started. Daniel, what are we talking about today?
Today we were kind of talking about social influences. You had a better title for me, but social influences when for cooking. It could be inspiration that we've drawn from people that helped us. Even I'm going to talk about things that happened when I first transitioned. Transition just seems like such a loaded word. Like seems
Yeah,
too big. Is there a better word? When I just went. Plain and simple, when I went vegan,
when I
went
went
plant-based,
plant-based, yeah,
I like
yeah,
that. When I
yeah.
had gone plant-based a few years back, right, when the time isn't important, put it in the past participle. Yeah,
Yeah, very good. So yeah, I'm William the teacher. This is my brother Daniel Nowanick, and we're going to be talking about influences and influencers
there we go.
on on this channel and you know on this episode, I should say. So yeah, I mean, Daniel, you're bringing up a great point. We're talking about when you made this the switch, when you made the move, when you made that change to a plant-based diet. Did you feel like completely lost in this? I mean,
Yeah.
was it a massive change for you?
It was a massive change in that, and maybe we talked about this, but I'll remind
We
everybody,
did an
our
episode
dad,
one. If you haven't seen it, go back and watch it. But this is called building background knowledge. Okay.
right.
Yeah.
Our dad was very much a meat and potatoes, glass of milk type of guy. So I grew up like that, and I grew up very much on eating meat and eating dairy. And dairy, I think, was the hardest part of the switch for me. Meat, my wife and I were already kind of decreasing it. So yeah, it was a big change in the immediate. And so I was immediately went to YouTube.
Yeah.
YouTube, what can I find? What recipes are out there that can help with this? You know, and I found some really good plant-based channels that I started following, and then started being able to try their recipes, and that helped a lot because some of them would be like more comfort foods, like non-vegan comfort foods made vegan, and that felt easier. And I'm like, okay, I'm familiar with that flavor, with that type of dish, and now I can just eat it, just the vegan version of it. So that was really helpful.
Yeah, very nice. I mean, I think that a lot of times in this modern society, when we want to learn something new or see how to do something, YouTube is uh,
Yeah.
a great tool to help us. And there are a lot of different people out there that I definitely watched and took notes from and things like that. My you know change into plant-based from my old diet was kind of a two-step process, which was first, just cutting down on the foods I ate, trying
Hmm.
to make things that were more natural, and then getting rid of the meat and dairy, which had been reduced by a great deal by the time I got to that point. And Instagram as well, finding different
Hmm.
people on Instagram to follow. But I give a shout out, but why don't you go first? Why don't you give a shout out of some people that influenced you?
Sure, there's I think three like YouTubers that I had started following early on that were super helpful. One, his name is Gaz Oakley. Gaz, I don't know if it's pronounced. He's English or from Wales, I believe.
Mm,
And I want to say it's Avant-Garde Vegan was his channel. He's still very much posts and not some. I mean, he still does a lot of recipes, but not as much as he used to. So he was a chef that had gone plant-based, and his food just he did such a great job at I think explaining the food behind it, but also making it look very delicious. So it wasn't just like simple recipes. His were a little bit more complex because I had switched during COVID. I had the time to be able to make these things. So his was definitely more I wouldn't say complicated, but just involved a lot more ingredients than the average vegan recipe that I found. And then the other one was pick up limes. I believe she's originally from Canada and then moved to the Netherlands. And I really liked her freshness of her food, really good. Also, I think she is a dietitian by trade or
Mm.
by school. And so that was also another way of seeing kind of the food as like what we're putting in our body and then what helps with our body. And then the last one locally that I know we both follow is Rainbow Plant Life. And then her channel is just really fun. I think quirky and then very approachable and very approachable to recipes. So not as complex, very simple recipes, but kind of I attach to that California fresh style of hers. But she also, I believe, her comes from Indian descent, and I really love Indian food. So some of her Indian dishes are really spectacular that I appreciate. So those would be like the three YouTubers that I really caught on early, and I still watch to this day.
Yeah, very good. I mean, I think the one we've talked about often is Rainbow Plant Life. I mean, that's one that I really caught on to both on Instagram and on YouTube. And I actually purchased her cookbook.
Same.
I think it was called Big or Bold Vegan Flavors. I don't know.
I think it's
It's
big because the book is
big.
massive. Like it
Yeah,
is like A to Z because I didn't realize the big part of the front, but it was really educational
yeah. Yeah,
on
but
everything.
really good stuff. And other than that, no one really sticks out to mind that I, quote unquote followed. I mean, yeah, I follow a few different variations of people that are called like vegan recipes, vegan
Hmm.
recipe ideas or feed
Hmm.
vegan, different things that will come across my story on Instagram specifically.
Okay.
And I can check things out and look at them. But I got to make an announcement here for everybody. I am not a big recipe follower.
What?
Yeah, yeah. I was the kid that colored outside the lines.
Yeah.
I'm an artist, and I like to kind of do whatever my heart desires. But it's one of those things. I started watching, let's just say, the Food Network a long, long time ago to
Hmm.
talk about influencers, right?
Right.
And watching all those people going back, Iron Chef America and all the Bobby Flay shows, and who's that? The Barefoot Contessa, Rachel
Hmm.
Ray. I mean, you name it. I watch them all, but there's so many ingredients a lot of times, and I think sometimes it's better to call an audible and
Hmm.
not go buy that one ingredient that could make or break the dish for a chef, but for the
Hmm.
home cook, probably won't be that big of a difference. And so there are different things like that where I look at cooking kind of how like I play guitar. And
Yeah.
that is just like when I first started, I looked up all the tabs from all the songs from everybody. And basically what I was doing, I was just finding chords. That's all I was finding,
Hmm.
how to play different chords and how to manipulate those chords. And then do it my way, like Frank
Hmm.
Sinatra did. And I'm sure everything's derivative, nothing's original. I'm not, Richie Sambora or something like that. I'm just a average everyday guy who likes to, pick a little. And it's one of those things where you see what other people have done, you see how they do it, and then you
Hmm.
kind of do it yourself. And I look at the same way. I watch these videos and I see what they're doing, and I look at the different techniques, I look at the different
Hmm.
flavors,
Yeah.
and different thing combinations that they put together,
Hmm.
what works well. But then when it comes time to actual cooking, okay, what do I have in the pantry, you
Right.
know and try to make that work. And I've mentioned on these shows before that I'm extremely boring and not that adventurous. So once I find a few things that I like, I can tweak here and there
Hmm.
and base it
Right.
on that. So yeah, how close to recipes are you? I mean, you have different cookbooks. I'm sure you
Hmm.
do.
I do.
Um,
Yeah.
have you done those exactly?
No, I'd say opposite to you, William, and I know you're a Scorpio. I'm a Capricorn. So there's that artistry in Scorpio, like see or hip, going by the hip or whatever you call it.
Yeah.
And then, as a Capricorn, I very much like order and like to follow things the way they're meant to be. Lego, for instance, I love following the directions as opposed to just
Mm,
creating. But there's a time and place for both. So
yeah.
like I love your example of the guitar. It's kind of like Lego. I'd rather follow the directions, create that set than just build from nothing. However, However, so like when I started, it was very much like I had to make sure I had all the ingredients. Otherwise, I was like, ah, crap, I need to go to the store and get it. Now,
Mhm.
because of just years of practice, I have definitely adopted your way of thinking more because of just like I have the knowledge base now, of like kind of what things go together, what tastes good, and also what I like. And I
Mhm.
know more of the options. And for for anybody, trying to get a basic decent meal, right? You're getting your fats, you're getting your vegetables, right? Your protein, your carbs, and a good mix of things. And being able to find what's just in the pantry and making something is actually a fun adventure for me now. But in before, I would open it up and be like, crap, there's nothing to eat. When in fact, there's so much to eat if you have like the staples.
Mhm.
And so it's been kind of fun now to your side of like finding the art in it. Even today, I made like I looked at the fridge. I actually said to myself, "Oh, there's nothing to eat," and then I just stood there for a second, and I was like, "No, wait! I have wraps, I have some hummus, I have an avocado, I have some spinach, and then sauerkraut. That was my wrap. I put all that into a wrap. Tasted delicious. Put some pumpkin seeds for crunch, a little bit of hemp seeds for a little extra protein, and it was delicious. I had a lot of fun.
You lost me at sauerkraut, my friend. I'm sorry. Yeah, I was with
It's
you in
it's
the
the
so.
pre or postbiotic. It's for gut health. Thank you.
Okay.
I used to do kimchi, but I'm really afraid of the spice right now, so I
Yeah.
haven't reintroduced it.
Yeah. No, I mean, I've never been a big sauerkraut guy, so,
Get
but,
that?
you know, uh, definitely done
You like
a variety
pickles?
of different, hmm?
Do you like pickles?
Uh,
Not a pickle
give or
guy.
take. I mean, I like cabbage and I like doing different things with cabbage, especially in the
Hmm.
wintertime.
Hmm.
But I think I tried. I like kimchi too, but it has its place. I'd never actually made my own, but
Hmm.
I've done different things with it. But as far as pickling my own stuff, no, I've never
Yeah,
done that.
no,
You know,
and I don't do my own sauerkraut. It was from a jar, but it was good.
yeah, it could have been a mason jar that you
Yeah,
made yourself. I don't
I
know.
did not. I did not. But yeah,
Yeah.
and so I do that, and then now it's like I'm more on Instagram now than YouTube for my recipes. Like I guess like you maybe finding or searching, and so there's a few that I've been following recently that I just get inspired by something. So I like, oh, that sounds really good. So I might look at the recipe itself
Hmm.
and then just say, okay, I'm gonna make my twist on it just from scratch. It's like, okay, I saw the basics of it. And I'll try and do something a little different. I know one really good one is the Nard Dog Cooks. His is really good. I think his website is Make It Dairy Free.
Hmm.
And I really like his like just his story and like how he orates the whole kind of recipe and talks about kind of what's happening. And then the other one is Turnip, like a turnip vegan. He's really entertaining, lives up in Joshua Tree, and he has some really cool recipes that seem very easy. He does everything in one of those magic bullets, kind of, so it seems kind of approachable from a size perspective. And then the last one I always want to make sure to shout out my last one. He helped me on that transition of more like what do you say, the traditional recipes. Like his food is pretty much junk food that he puts on there, and it's called The Burger Dude with the THEE. And his is like all vegan versions of like junk fast food, and it's just fun to do those once in a while. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's great. I mean, and like I said, I don't have like particular people or names, but there are a lot of people, and this was back in 2021, right, that I used to watch, and there was these two dads that would do different cooking, the plant-based cooking, and there are a variety of different people. Sometimes I will watch people cook when they don't even say anything.
Yeah.
Those videos where they don't say anything and it's just someone chopping things,
Hmm.
and they'll put the amounts and everything, or the temperature or whatever it is, or cook
Right.
5 minutes. Like the recipe will kind of come up on the screen as they do it.
Mhm.
They don't say anything, and I find that just as informational.
Yeah.
In fact, I mean, I don't know, I'm going to ask you about this, but for me personally, sometimes it's not about the personality or things like that. It's about what they're cooking.
Hmm.
And sometimes I'll just go down a rabbit hole one after another, but
Yeah.
immediately just go to the comment section and see if the recipe's there. and
Yeah.
then take a look at it, because and other things like, shout out again to Rainbow Life, because that's where I got my Instant Pot, right? That's
Yeah.
how I got the Instant Pot. And so, like, I'll just type in plant-based Instant Pot recipes, right?
Right.
And to mess around with different things like that. I mean, it's where I learned to cook quinoa,
Hmm.
lentils. I just made this great lentil soup um, the other day, and I didn't look at a recipe at all. I just had these lentils, and I threw in my Instant Pot with some of my veggie stock and let it go,
Hmm.
and then spiced it up a little bit with
Right,
some
right.
curry powder and some different stuff, and then had my little blender thing, and like half of it kept some of the lentils there, but they get mushy, right? And I was like,
Yeah.
man, this was really good. It was like, well, I felt like I was back in Turkey. I used to eat that lentil soup for breakfast and dinner.
Nice.
God, I love that lentil soup in Turkey. You got to go. And a little paprika on top, it gives it some
Hmm.
good flavor and things like that. For you, is it important when you're watching someone or someone to influence you, that they have a certain personality, or if they
I think
teach,
it
or
I think
what is it about?
visually the food has to look good for me. Like I'm such a visual person that it has to
Mm,
look appetizing to me is kind of the main thing. If it's like all kind of thrown together and looks kind of sloppy, I tend to just keep going. But if it visually looks nice, I'm like, oh no, this person took enough time to really make it set up. I'll take a look at it. But there's also other times like tonight, for instance, I'm in the need. I have this desire to recreate this corn soup. It's a Trinidadian corn soup that my brother-in-law's mother had made for his birthday party a few weeks ago, and I have the gist of what goes into it. And then so I'm just gonna search for like a couple recipes
yeah.
and I'll see where it takes me from there. It's not necessarily always gonna be vegan. Some people do like butter and stuff like it, so I gotta substitute that or whatever.
Mm.
But I think it'll be an easy substitute. But yeah, I have this like craving for that, so I'll go to online first and see what I can find that looks pleasing, and then I'll look at the recipe. And I do also like looking in the comments.
Yeah, and I think once again, pretty great point there is that for those of you out there looking to get into this diet, or lifestyle, if you will, you don't always have to search plant-based recipes, but you can search anything, and then you could make the necessary substitutions where you need to do it.
Absolutely, and I've
Um,
realized that even more so now. Like egg, for instance, if it calls for egg, I know how to make a flax egg like very
mm,
easily. It's pretty quick and simple. But before I'd be like, oh crap, it has egg in it. What am I gonna do? I gotta go
yeah,
find the next
scrap it.
one.
Next,
Yeah, exactly. I
next.
would scrap it if I
Go
didn't
straight to
have
the
it.
recipe. You see the egg, you just next.
Yeah, or I would say
Can't do it.
this recipe minus egg.
Yeah. And it's one of those things where, like you said, it looks good. I mean, where is this?
That
Cheers
looks
to this
delicious.
photographer who took this picture, right? And do you know the person who took that picture behind me?
I do. It's my wife, Latanya
That's right.
Nolan.
Shout out to Latanya. Very good picture. Love it. She's probably going to ask for a couple bucks from me from using it. So
I don't think she's a subscriber or a viewer. I've been telling her.
she has no idea this is going on.
She knows it's going on. She just hasn't watched.
Nothing like support. Nothing.
Zero excuses, right?
Yeah. So anyway, about that, let's wrap this up on influences and influencers. I think
Sounds
to
good.
kind of sum up, there's a lot of information out there. There's a lot of great people making really quality content. We're just two dudes talking about it. But if you
Yep.
want someone to walk you through things, and depends on what kind of learner you are and how you best follow things, there's a variety of different things that you can do. Is there anything else that follow besides just food?
I do a lot of people just running. I follow a lot of runners, like ultra runners. I mean, I wouldn't say a lot, but a handful, I guess, that I follow. One is hella good. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. He is just like his energy is just so positive. He has a great story. He's a runner, but not only that, but he's a vegan runner. So he's also plant-based. And
Yeah.
he runs crazy miles. I want to say he's on a run streak of over 7,000 days in a row. So it's like over like plus years or something like that. It's something crazy. Maybe it's 3,000. Maybe I increase it. Anyways, it's in the
That's okay.
thousands. And yeah, he's really fun. And then there's a few other plant-based runners that I follow too. Well, that's about it.
Yeah. I mean, I know you know this about me, but I've gone down this rabbit hole recently of PCT through hikes and
Yeah.
just watching people do it. There's this guy, Carl Blanchett. He's called Rabbit is his trail name. And last year he did the PCT in 90, I think 89 days, right?
Oh my goodness.
Canadian, go Canada. And so I've been following him all this year, watching. I'm sure he's finished, but right
Uh-huh.
now on YouTube, he's only in Oregon. So
Yeah.
I'm sure he's already finished, but because he gets a new episode every day, so we'll see where he is. But yeah, there's a lot of
Cool.
inspiration out there, and hopefully that someone out there might even like what we do one day.
Yeah. You never know. Yeah.
So
And then
thank you if
we'll
you
be
made it
sure
this
to
far.
drop all the handles that I did mention into the comment section. So if you do want to check any of them out, I'll be sure to provide them to for William to put them into the
Yeah,
actual
please
episode.
provide me with that along with the video so I can
Yes, I
upload it.
will. Episode 7 and this one.
Yeah, thank you very much. So thanks to all of you who are coming on this journey with us and find what we do interesting. So we're happy to have you, and feel free to hit like, subscribe, comment, all those good stuff. And we'll see you next week.
Peace.